There is one event on my calendar that is incredibly important, and it's an event that I've gone to every single year since I've been about 12 or 13 with my granddad without fail. The Oldtimer and Tractor Show in Alt Schwerin in northeast Germany. If you're kind of new here, you probably don't know that I'm actually half German. Well, my family's from the northeast of Germany, which meant they were behind the wall on the USSR side. And it's safe to say the automotive culture over here is quite different. But in this video, I hope to give you a little insight as to what that's like. Expect to see loads of German cars, loads of East German vehicles. And before we get into the video, if you're new here and don't like old school and classic cars like any of the ones you're about to see, then please don't follow. But step one though, we need to find the one person I come here with every single year, my grandfather, because he's after running away from me in the parts department. And as you can see, there are lots and lots and lots and lots of parts. And there he is. I spotted him. Na, Opa?
Oh, ha.
So I made a little purchase on the flea market. It's a DDR, so East German motor calendar from 1989. One of the last years before obviously the GDR kind of fell apart. One thing to note about car shows in East Germany is they're not quite as highbrow as what you might expect. East Germany was a communist country after all. And as a result, these kind of traditional shows, rather than just being like an exhibition of really pretty concourse cars, which unfortunately there weren't that many of because you had like Trabant and Ladas were pretty much all the cars you had in East Germany, you also then obviously have tractors, and it became an exhibition of like mechanical things rather than an exhibition of like really beautiful cars. But there are still beautiful cars here nonetheless. Was ist das? This, if you don't know, is powered by a 5-litre 1-cylinder 2-stroke engine. Literally the cylinder is just doing that the whole time. These two tractors are called Fortschritt, and they are essentially, well, Fortschritt means advancement, so they are essentially the East German tractors. He's all excited because this Belarus is about to start ploughing this field here. I know you never thought you'd see the day where a retro garage video becomes me watching something plough a field. Maybe I'm actually foreboding what's to come in the future. Maybe one day I'll end up retire from making videos about cars and end up making videos about farming instead. That said, I'm no professional, but that looks not very straight. And here's a little funny something for you, because this mini combine harvester has essentially a Volkswagen 27 horsepower industrial engine, which is essentially just a strengthened version of the Beetle engine. So basically a flat 4 Beetle powered combine harvester. Honestly though, I do kind of appreciate the fact that this event is quite down to earth and isn't very highbrow, because it makes a nice change from a lot of the classic car shows around the world who, if I'm being honest, have got very high on their horses, unfortunately. Because no matter what, the reason we like and enjoy these cars and others enjoy appreciating them is because we all have a shared passion for that. And I don't think that should be defined by budget necessarily. Yes, you should have to put in a certain level of effort, and you know, sometimes that does come with cost as well. But you know what? That doesn't take away from the fact that everyone that has a vehicle here absolutely and utterly loves their vehicles. Even this guy, who has a channel about his Lance Bulldog, he always drives quite a distance to get here. What's your channel name? What's your channel name again?
Oldling Motors.
Yo?
Oldling Motors.
Oldling Motors. I'll put it on the screen here. He always drives like 200-300 kilometers to be here, and we met him like a couple of years ago where he landed on with literally his face was covered in oil. Like him from head to toe, he was covered in oil. Really, really nice guy. And he also has like, you know, a YouTube channel where he documents all really intricate details about Lance Bulldog. But enough about me, I'm going to talk you through some of the vehicles that I see here in front of me as quick as I can. A Fortschritt is an East German tractor. A multi-car is like this small little multi-purpose vehicle. I think these are powered by like a 4-cylinder diesel engine. You can put like everything on the front or back. They were used from everything from like cleaning streets to strimming hedges, everything. IFA W50s, these are all W50s. These two are off-road versions. They're East German trucks. This one here is a double cab, and it used to be a military vehicle, but obviously now it's been converted to a camper. A Barkas B1000 is the East German version of what would have been like the Volkswagen T1 or T2. They're powered by a 3-cylinder 1-litre 2-stroke engine, so basically the engine out of the Wartburg. It is really funny hearing these because they sound kind of like a chainsaw, even though it's a van. This is a Rabur, another slightly smaller type of truck than the W50. There is a little little homemade tractor. These would have been West German, but I do think this shape of Unimog, where they have the headlights in the bumper, is one of the coolest style of them. Another Unimog and a Tatra, again, East vehicle. I think they're Czech. They have an air-cooled 12-cylinder V12, and they have 8 wheels, and each of these wheels is powered as well. They also have like 20 forwards gears and 4 reverse gears, and they were kind of used at the time in East German military as well, for the likes of, you know, transporting rockets and missiles. We also have a couple of UAZ military Jeeps here. Trabant, of course, typical East German vehicle. Lada then, you know, essentially a version of the Fiat 124, made tougher for Eastern Europe because roads weren't as great. And ooh, this is cool. An early 2-door Passat, sitting on the same wheels as my Audi Coupe Quattro, AZVs. I like this. A Wartburg 311. An early Wartburg. These are powered by a 3-cylinder, 1000cc, 2-stroke engine. And these guys have the right setup. They brought a whole truck with like a fridge. MZ is a East German motorbike manufacturer. A newer Wartburg, a Wartburg 353, surrounded by 2 of those Robur trucks. And then this here is actually a Robur as a bus instead. This one's now being converted into a camper. And there's another example with a slightly different body to the back of this. And then for a second we get a chance to see west of the wall and of course east of the wall. Volkswagen T2 here. Always a beautiful design as well. And this is Austrian built. It's built by Steyr Puch, who also make the G-Wagon, and it is called a Pinzgauer, little military vehicle. So that's my rundown of this little section, but over here we have a lot more vehicles to go, so let's get through them. We're back with Opa again. Wo wollen wir hin? Here's another example of one of those like homemade tractors. As an example, Opa built one back when my mom was actually quite young, out of an old Skoda Octavia that they'd crashed back in, I think he crashed it like the 80s or so. And he used the engine and the frame of it and the axles and stuff to essentially make a small little tractor. This one here has like a diesel standing motor, if you want to call it that. All of the hydraulics, obviously, everything's made from scratch. I want to be like that at a car show. Just land on with a Wartburg and a couple of deck chairs and, you know, have your lunch, your picnic. Something I didn't expect to see. This is basically the same as those UAZ Jeeps I pointed out earlier, but this is like a people carrier version of that. Another 2-stroke car. It seems like everything in East Germany at the time was 2-stroke. These have a, what is that? A V4 engine. DKW is obviously one of the brands that became the 4 rings of Audi, or Auto Union at the time. That is the quietest Oldtimer, the quietest classic car I've ever heard in my life. Even up here, you can barely hear anything. Now that's how you make a luxury car. No classic car show in Germany is complete without, of course, a Beetle, or a Käfer as they're called over here. North Germany especially absolutely loves muscle cars. Here, a Chevy Malibu, Chevrolet Camaro, Mercury Cougar. For some reason, American scene is massive over here. And that's what I mean, it's the variety. Where else would you get a car show where you can go from a Lada to a Chevrolet Malibu or a Camaro? Aside from cars, I also love trains, and over here is one of my favorite little things from the show. Even when I used to come here as a kid, this is one of my favorite parts. And it's these model railways that you can literally sit on. Like, look at the detail that goes into some of these. And you won't believe it, but they're actually powered by steam. Again, you wouldn't get adults riding around on miniature trains at a highbrow event. I've actually lost track of how many points that is towards this event versus like loads of other like highbrow events. People don't understand what the hell I'm doing here because nobody really comes across people vlogging. They're all like, why is that man talking to a stick? Yeah, I guess you're now on the internet too. And now we have my last set of cars from this video, starting with a homemade 3-wheel tractor, and then Trabant 500, followed by one of the last ever Trabants, the 1 litre or 1.1 litre 4-stroke Trabants. All of the others were 2-stroke. An IFA F9 powered by a 2-stroke, a Trabant powered by a 2-stroke, 2 Volkswagen Golf, and beside that we have something quite interesting, a Lada Niva. I've always really liked these. I always think they're pretty cool. This one has a bit of an angry face on it. And then a Wartburg 353, this one's been chopped and changed and turned into a convertible. None of these ever came as a convertible. Well, this is only a small handful of what was here earlier. This is an Avo. We have a Schwalbe there in the middle, or some of them are Zimzons. Zimzon, these are 2 Zimzons. MZ, a couple of MZs and Zimzons. They're after getting really trendy. This here is a Berlin, if I'm not mistaken. I think these are both, no, that's a Troll and that's a Berlin. In people like my generation, in East Germany especially, actually maybe even all of Germany, stuff like the East German mopeds, which were really big back in the day, even in East Germany, they've come back in fashion, they've come full circle, they're massively back in fashion, and it's pretty hard to actually get one. Fuck off, wasp. And now it's pretty hard and pretty expensive to actually try get one. This is actually a BMW motorbike with the cylinders kind of like a boxer opposite each other. A DKW motorbike here as well with that good old Auto Union logo that we all know and love today. And then something quite interesting, because this is an EMW, it has the red logo instead. Essentially after the war and Russia took over East Germany, one of BMW's factories was actually in Eisenach. So for a couple of years, the Russians kept making, or the Soviets kept making BMW motorbikes up until they were, you know, basically got a lawsuit from BMW themselves. So they changed them slightly. They call them EMWs, slightly changed the logo, and the result basically is exactly the same thing as the BMW. And Opa is watching really carefully because he actually used to have one of these Javas back in the day. Du hattest doch noch mal so eine.
Ja.
Ja.
Das ist eine kleine, 150.
He said that's a small one, 175cc. He actually had the bigger one.
Ich habe eine 3,5er gehabt.
And the 3.5er, 350cc. The perfect livery for a Porsche tractor. Oh, I really like this. Rear engined, this is beautiful. A couple of Volkswagen Beetles, and then down here is a Volvo P1800S Coupe. A Wartburg, a Lada, a Wartburg, a Trabant, oh, a lowered Trabant, a Wartburg, Trabant, and a tractor, and Opa. It's a Westfalia, as you can tell by the roof. Is owned by one of our friends. I absolutely love this. This has a Limbach engine, which essentially was a light aircraft engine based on, you know, the engines that would have come in these. I think it's a 2-litre and putting out like 130 horsepower or something like that. So I hope you enjoyed this little video of the car show that me and Opa, who's over there, go to every single year. And I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know your favorite car, and let me know if you want to learn more about any of the individual cars in this video. Also, as always, please don't follow or subscribe if you don't like old school and classic cars like any of these, like the Skoda that's trying to run me down. We'll see you as always in the next video. Cheers, take care, bye-bye. This is my favorite thing. Opa is having a conversation with people about... He's having a conversation with people about his Jeep. He's obviously gutted it's not here in person, and I'm gutted for him, but it just didn't work out time-wise. But we have next weekend. We have another show next weekend that we're going to go to together with it, and he's going to have loads of opportunity to talk about his car there.